Hey everybody, it's Steve. Not an update on the last podcast. Got some really good responses from everybody, and kudos to all you guys out there that are taking some action to do something about it, or calling people up. I've had people email me and contact me directly. You name the forum, they're doing it. It's been great. It's been got a solid response. Only one person was trying to pull that whole we're supposed to basically lay down and get ran over by anything idea, which is false. Again, just war theory is a true thing. This would constitute that, because you have to have a plan, make sure it's, there's a reason for it, and you have a chance to win. So, and there's other things obviously, but yeah, sitting there and letting your wife and kid potentially get hurt or assaulted or anything like that is not Christian gentleman, not anything manly at all about that. Anyway, another call to action idea is kind of related, but is the different, what would you say, crisis that we have is, we'll talk about as other people will mention in communist ideas, is always keep basically pounding away at somebody, throwing another crisis or bombing them completely. So we just get constant pounding away by something. But anyway, if you look at this pandemic, as we would say, what is the real problem in society you see? It's exposing the bad leadership that we have across the board. Now, clerical ways, can't do really much about it. You don't get to vote for your bishop or anything like that. You don't get to vote for your priest. You pray for them, pray for their conversion. That can happen. That can help. That does help. That can help. That does help. We should be doing more of it, as well as promoting more vocations in our own families. I've met a lot of people, even in the traditional ways, that get upset when you say, make sure you pray for vocations even out of your own family. I know people back in the parish I grew up with, some had 12, 15 kids and 0 vocations. One had one, and he went to this certain group that nobody would really like too much, and he ended up dropping out after 12 years in seminary. Okay, no big deal. He was good during those 12 years, and he's developed into a solid man from it. Now, but what about the rest of everybody? Most parishes don't even produce one anymore. There's a lot of factors involved in this, but a lot of it starts at the house. Just like when people say that they're not getting good education from the priest. Well, who's the number one person that's supposed to be educating their kids? The parents. Go in the mirror. Well, if I'm looking at a mirror, I'm looking at a mirror too. And what else is going on in political ways, which can be affected by you, everybody in the sound of my voice, is local and state governments. Even the federal in a sense, but forget about the federal level. This is why we're in the problem, is because everybody looks at the federal level because it's the sexy one. You're on Fox News, you're on CNN, you're on MSNBC, you're on ABC, whatever. Nobody cares about the local and state guys until it comes and bites them in the you-know-what, like the one up in, was it their Oregon County, Denver, was it some Oregon County, I can't remember the name of the county, where they let a transvestite win some county commissioner office. I don't know how many people voted in this county, but I would bet less than 1,000 votes probably. And I'm sure as anything, there's 1,000 people who live in that area, more than 1,000 people who live in that area. Most of the time, these local and state governments things, you get really small turnouts. Not a lot of people vote. Not a lot of people care. They'll come out for the big ones. They'll go out in droves to vote for a president, which if you hear these people, get back to the Constitution. Well, what was the founder? And I'm no big founders guy, but what did they talk about? Keep government close to you. Closest to the heart is the most powerful. Right now, we got everything inverted. People want D.C. as the most powerful. They want Mordor and the Potomac as the most powerful. They live and breathe off everything that goes down in Washington, daggum, D.C. And they forget what happens in their town or their backyard. So this area up in Oregon, they got this lady up there that mandates masks for everyone but black people. You tell me where the science is in that one. You're not going to find that. where if they have a mandate come down from your state governor, like I do in the People's Republic of North Carolina right now. Now the thing with our guy is apparently when I wasn't living here when he got voted in, is the bathroom bill killed the last governor, basically, that McCrory. Everyone and their brother came to North Carolina to boycott it. He ended up losing. You got this guy come in, Cooper, and now he's literally doing everything he can. I don't know what his end game is for, to kill his state economy. And now the lieutenant governor is suing. But I know of one Catholic in the North Carolina State House one person that's a Catholic in the North Carolina State House. She's actually about 10, 15 minutes away from where I'm at. That goes to their parish that far away. But how many else are out there? And how many Catholics listening to this are upset about what's going on? One, didn't vote for your local state. Two, have no idea who your local guys are, county, sheriff, all this. Three, would complain but never want to do anything about it. If we want to do something about this, first off, you got to promote the kingship of Christ. Here's a good idea that you can do tomorrow or right now. Go to tanbooks.com. I'll put the link underneath. And I don't make a penny for this one because I don't have the coupon code doesn't work for it. Because yes, full disclosure, in the 15% off, I get a small commission. It's small. Trust me, it doesn't even pay a bill. Unless people start buying millions of dollars of books, which may or may not have. That'd be great. It'd be great to see people buying more books from a lot of publishers. But go there, and I'll link it directly. So all you gotta do is click it and buy. Get the 100-pack of the Reign of Kingship of Christ that Michael Davies did, and with shipping, it's like $80 for 100 of them. They'll ship it to the door and pass that out to everybody you know. Get your parish to buy a box or two or 500, and pass them out to everybody in the parish. I hand them out. Hey, truth be told, I handed one to what's his name? Who's that? Oh, the Texas Congressman, Ted Cruz. Yeah, he was in Spartanburg, South Carolina about was it 4 or 5 years ago? 6 years ago, maybe 4 to 6 years ago. I can't remember when exactly what he was. Maybe even longer. But I went up there and he was at the Beacon, and I handed him a miraculous medal and a booklet, A Kingship of Christ. Yes, he's Protestant, but that's one thing that Davies brings up is the Protestants are even better at this than we are on the Kingship of Christ. I have no idea if you read it. I don't have his contact info or anything like that, but if you give it to a congressman, a sitting congressman, and they end up getting turned on by that. Yes, the Constitution pretty much is impossible for the state, as in the federal government, to proclaim the Kingship of Christ. Because it's the thing about religion in there, it's kind of contrary to the Catholic faith, and anybody that says otherwise might need to read up on the Syllabus of Errors for one. But without an amendment like Hungarian Constitution, which proclaims the King of Christ, Saint Stephen, you're not going to find that in the United States Constitution that was developed by Freemasonry deists. Though sorry if that offends anybody, but that's an historical fact on the people that came up with everything. Straight out of the French Revolution, principles of enlightenment. This is not a Catholic idea of what they got. No matter what book that says Catholic Republic on it says, this is not a Catholic idea. Sure, you can read up St. Thomas Aquinas that talks about democracy as a form of government. But we're talking about the U.S. quote-unquote republic, which is not a republic anymore. And shoot, even in 1790, John Carrollton talked about how the experiment was over. You can read that in his book. I can't remember his book. It's over there, but I can't see too far. It's John Taylor of Carrollton. Get his book. Anyways, so yeah, that's an idea. Get 100 copies of the Kingship of Christ, or the Reign of the Kingship of Christ by Michael Davies. Pass them out. When you get done with 100, get some more. It's $80 again for a 100-pack. Read it and pass it out as a short booklet. Then think about running for especially if you know what you're talking about for politics and such. Start looking into running for mayor of your town, city council, whatever, state representatives, state congress, state, even shoot for the sky, shoot for the president of your country. And I'm not talking about the United States of America. The governor is the president of the country of your state. Well, state is synonymous with the word country, by the way. Old school tradition, classical way of calling a state is country. If you look at the European Union, notice the word union. It's a federation of countries that make that up. Brexit, they succeeded from the European Union, but they also they say out there the state of Italy or the state of France. Notice that it's state. And who's in charge? Each country in the United States, each state has a constitution. A lot of people don't know this. They always go for the federal one, and that's why we're in a lot of problems too, is because we got that all warped out from the Miracle Amendment of the 14th Amendment. And now no one looks at their own state constitution, which I remember moving into Colorado and telling guys that they're all big on the Colorado politics. I say, hey, what's the gun amendment here? And they've been there all their lives and had no clue. I was there 2 weeks and found out what the gun law, the amendment of the arms one was. Same thing with the state of North Carolina. There's one on there. The dumb one is that somehow somebody made an idea for North Carolina that they can't succeed. So there's actually people that run sometimes just off the fund of eliminating that amendment. But anyway, run for office in your local state town, local governments. Get involved in that. You want to help. You talk about not only ending what's crisis or whatever's going on by just not participating in it, which stop living in fear. Don't participate in what they're trying to make you do. Try to be an evangelist for the truth instead of the evangelist for the propaganda, which you see a lot. And get involved in this and try to make changes from within. You want to talk about infiltration? Infiltrate. Stop reading about it. Stop talking about it. Do it. If you're worried about if you know somebody that's all talk and they just want to make money off it and just want to get donations or anything, and they're not willing to put their skin on the game, move on. Get involved. This isn't a time to sit around and do nothing on this. This isn't a time to look at somebody else and say, I hope someone gets involved and doesn't. Be that guy. Hopeful thinking isn't going to do anything. Wishful thinking is not going to do about anything. This is going to get worse. It's going to get worse every year. And nothing's going to change unless we do something about it. Now, we could always just sit back and complain about it, tweet on Twitter and post on Facebook how much this is terrible and go, oh, well, I wish somebody would do something about it. But guess what? That's not going to change a dadgum thing. And you might take some heat. Make sure you got some thick skin. Pray for fortitude. Yeah, that's the F word that no one likes to talk about. Thank God that Athanasius Snyder talked about it. That was a great interview he did. Appreciate him very much for doing that. And I didn't ask him to say it, and he did it for me. So I was jacked when he said it. I was trying not to smile as much when he was saying all that part. But yeah, pray for fortitude. Yes, pray for prudence too. But fortitude is also a virtue. Sign up. Look what's available in your area. It might be too late this year. I mean, it is July. I don't know. Ask. Most of the time, people that run in office or state local run unabated every time. Remember when I ran in 2010, I ran against a guy and no one ever ran against. He was there for like 4 or 5 years, no one ran against him. You look at anything, when you see local state governments, you'll only see a few hundred votes. Usually nobody's running against unabated in both parties. If there's anybody running in the other party, there's usually no one running in that party against them. So you might have two people in the same party, but nobody running in the other one. If that. It's all weird. It's the sad thing. Nobody thinks about local. As Charles Colomb and I was talking about localism, that's part of it too. Not only about being involved in your neighborhood, which helps in elections, get involved in the local and state politics. Because like I said, if people cared about that area, in that area where that transvestite is, that just put that face mask rule in, that probably would never happen if we had people that were vigilant and watching and making sure that stuff would never happen. Hey, we live and learn. We're getting our what's handed to us right now. Okay? Just like a Rocky movie. You get your brains beat out and you come back and fight and you win in the end. You're going to take some lumps? Take some lumps. Read up on people like King St. Louis, Blessed Carlo of Austria, Garcia Moreno, the martyr president of Ecuador. Read of people like that. Emulate their virtues. Emulate how they did things. Pray to the saints that were in government, like Thomas More, again, Garcia Moreno, King St. Louis, King St. Stephen. People like that. Put their photos around. Ask for their guidance. Remember Hillel Belloc pulled out his rosary. These are my beads. Where's our boys like that now? We got people out there. Maybe they just don't know what to do it. Maybe they just need a little motivation. Like some people said we needed motivation to get the protection groups together for the parishes. Maybe. I'm trying to get together with some guys here to put together a Catholic, not party, but a night, Catholic group for politics to not only study, to learn and do, but to get involved and not let just the Protestants do. I mean, I'm in the deep South, and you got more Protestants than Catholics down here mostly, and depending on what state. The Protestants don't know what they're talking about. Don't give them all that. Don't give them all that credit. We got all the as Fulton said. We have all the truth and no fire. The communists have all the fire and no truth. We got to get some of the fire. The Augustine line: Catholics are lazy when the heretics are zealous. If we want to change things up and want to try to make things better for our boys and girls, our sons and daughters, we got to do something about it besides tweeting and Facebooking and things like that. So I know I probably repeated myself in 16 minutes, but get involved. Again, email me direct, shoot me a line, whatever, for ideas. Books to read. There's it's in the Cahill. I'm reading right now of Catholic State. I can't remember the name of it. It's Catholic Christian State, Father Cahill. Get the book by our friend Dr. Alan Finister and Father Kareem, Integralism. Study stuff like that. Anyway, God bless y'all. Please pray for me. I'm always praying for you.